Hello everyone. Welcome to Mindspeak on Herald Global. I am Saimik Sen. Joining us today, a renowned social worker, educationist. She is also a Padma Shri, Dr. Tuli. And welcome to Herald Global. I would like to begin by asking you, how did you deal with the pandemic, personally and professionally, especially with so many children alongside?
It's a very good question, I must say. We have been running this institute for the last 40 years and with a holistic approach, having diverse activities like an inclusive school, a college for running a course of physiotherapy recognized by University of Delhi, running special education courses, having vocational training as part of education activity, and providing medical care to everyone, especially the economically weaker section people. So we have people coming from the community. So what has affected most this COVID-19 pandemic is our educational program. Our college and school both are closed, and for the last almost 2 years, we haven't had our students in campus. So that has been a very bad experience. I think globally, education sector has been affected. And in fact, all the activities have been affected. So what I feel is children are shaken up by this pandemic, and what we could do, it is one of your questions, so I'm answering in advance. What we could do during the pandemic was introducing online classes. We managed some donation from Ford Foundation to buy tablets for our students because they come from very poor families, and children are first generation learners. So parents are also not able to help with latest technology, and quite a few didn't even have a mobile phone. So online classes have helped immensely, and it has enhanced the teachers as well. Their knowledge about this latest technology, it has certainly improved, and children were thrilled having this tablet and doing things online for the first time.
That's really nice.
But it may be nice, but I'm very unhappy about this system because online doesn't seem to work as effectively as offline. It is a, let's say, some gap filling arrangement, but not the real education.
Across the world, that has been the case. Online classes has been a big challenge, actually.
Yes, a challenge in many ways. It is affecting mental health, physical health, and it is also affecting general life. I honestly feel it's not the right thing to do, but we had no other alternative also.
True. You have represented India in volleyball. You have a doctoral degree in English literature, that also in 1950s. Can you tell us who inspired you to do all this, and specifically in a time like that?
Well, I was an all-rounder right from the beginning, but this inspiration of setting up an institution for persons with disability, which is Amar Rehabilitation and Research Center in Delhi and Gwalior, is basically because of my brother's accident in 1965 when Indo-Pak War was on, and he was driving back home when he was hit by a truck. He fell from his motorcycle, and his one leg was totally crushed, which was amputated. And at that time in India, there was no place where he could get his prosthesis, because basically it was from hip. They were making in Pune artificial legs below knee and above knee, but not uh, from the hip, which was a
Sure.
very difficult thing. It needed a socket and special fitment. And during that Indo-Pak War, I also came across several amputees in different hospitals in Delhi, Bombay, Gwalior, and everybody had one very disturbing thing to say, "Hi, bichara." So all the war victims were bicharas here. And I said, education is one platform from where you can change this attitude of calling everybody "Hi, bichara."
True, true.
So, uh, and being an optimist, a terrible optimist, I said, बेचारा क्यों? अगर किसी कारण से कुछ गया है पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी, तो उसका रिप्लेसमेंट भी तो आजकल है. सो जो भी होगा, जैसा भी होगा, one should live with it, with hope, with understanding, with faith in God. तो ये ऐसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए कि पुअर थिंग नहीं बोलना चाहिए. तो उसके लिए जो दिमाग में आया, बीइंग एन एजुकेशनिस्ट, हम अगर इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन शुरू करें तो बचपन से जब दोनों साथ होंगे, द एबल एंड द डिसेबल्ड, इन ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल नंबर, तो एक दूसरे को अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे, एक्सेप्ट करेंगे, हेल्प करेंगे. दैट फीलिंग दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर मेन स्ट्रीमिंग will automatically come if we have them together right from the beginning.
Sure.
So with this thought, I started a school under a tree with 30 children in equal number of 15 each, able and the disabled. And of course, the thought process was there, but public support was not easily coming. In fact, they were calling me mad. कि ये तो कभी हो ही नहीं सकता है, एक साथ पढ़ा रहे हैं, पागल हैं. So, but in years, people started realizing, yes, it's a good thought, looking for some kind of society which is rights-based, which has equality, which has full participation. So people started accepting it, and today it is replicated all over the world. So inclusive education is the answer for everything.
So what are the initial difficulties that you faced when you thought of establishing Amar Jyoti?
Basic difficulties were of attitudinal barrier. People were not accepting the idea. Second difficulty was of finance. I did not have any money in my bank to run an institution. So I became a professional beggar. I still am asking for money from every individual to
For a
run the
great cause, of
projects.
course.
And then another difficulty that was there was not to have physiotherapists and special educators in our country. So what we required was understanding for a barrier-free environment, for special teachers, and for people to be sensitive about the needs of children with disability.
True.
And that really was the most challenging thing. But as I said, I was determined to change the attitude. So I found ways to win over these challenges. I had 10 more years to teach. I taught for 30 years, 3 years in
Yes, yes.
Gwalior and 27 years in Delhi. And while teaching, I thought of starting my project, which I was thinking about for many, many years. So when I started, I did not wait for allotment of land or anything. Whatever I had, starting the project on the terrace of my house, having office in my house, and running camps in different premises, borrowing it on weekends, and using my students to conduct surveys and organize camps, requesting doctors and other professionals to come and join me. So it was a very beautiful beginning, begging for everything, human resource as well as money. So it became very popular. And now, by the grace of God, we have a branch in Gwalior also. It's a very nicely run center in Gwalior, a true replica of what it is in Delhi. So we have reached out to many people in remote areas also through our camps
Sure.
and provided medical support, educational support. So reach has been for lakhs and lakhs of people. I can't give you the count immediately, but we do have a record of how many we have taken care of.
That's great. That's really great. Can you tell us about the 1995 Abilympic performance on Republic Day?
Uh, Abilympics, we started in India in 1981. Abilympics
Okay.
has nothing to do with sports. It
Okay.
is
Yes.
vocational skill competition.
Sure.
And Abilympics started in Japan in 81. And I attended the first international Abilympics and liked it so much that I replicated it in India. And then we formed a National Abilympic Association in 2000 after attending 5 international Abilympics. And when we formed our National Abilympics, we decided to host international Abilympics also,
Sure.
which we did in 2003. So this was a very big step in empowering people. Uh, Many thousands of people got jobs after they could showcase their abilities in
Sure.
various jobs.
You have said this earlier, abilities have to be looked into and not the disability. In the 1980s, what kind of challenges did you face to make people understand this?
There was a time when we could see people with disabilities being left out at home, neglected, isolated, and also, not being accepted by the family itself. A big change came when we started showcasing their abilities, counseling the parents and grandparents at home, and counseling them in the camps, and also showing inclusion in school. And we had inter-school competitions to enhance the showcasing of abilities. So people started understanding that they are human beings first. They have to be looked after. We cannot really segregate them in society. So it took a long time to change the attitude, but I can say with humility, not with pride, that our efforts have not gone waste. People have started accepting each other. Inclusion has become a global issue, and we have seen people replicating inclusive education in their setup. And best thing is that government of India has really taken very commendable steps to promote inclusion. It is not only scholarships for inclusive education, it is not only grant in aid, but their own efforts in having national awards, uh, in organizing campaigns for accessibility, in having several other things for persons with disability. Uh, I feel very nice about the Disability Act, about several other acts which have come up to make persons with disability feel that they have the rights to enjoy. And implementation is also creeping in. Earlier, legislations were there, but implementation was poor. But now we see that implementation is also becoming stronger than ever before.
How is it as compared to then and now in terms of the mental block initially that you faced as a challenge?
Well, I would say job situation has also improved with reservation in jobs for persons with disability as per roster system. For each disability now, seats are reserved. for education, for other important aspects of life, there is a reservation for persons with disability. And uh, since the showcasing of abilities has improved, people are now understanding that they can also take up jobs. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment also produced a list of over 2,000 jobs which cross disability people can take up. So the awareness is much better now. And I honestly feel when I said that persons with disability should be on the same platform as the non-disabled, I definitely want to say that rights-based society, inclusive society, and a society where there is no attitudinal barrier is definitely coming up. And uh, we have professionals with disability. We have achievers in every field of life. I can make a long list of people, who can show that disability exists in the minds of people, not in persons with disability.
True, true.
So the word dis has been removed from disability.
It doesn't exist in your dictionary.
Yes, dictionary, I think they need to eradicate.
True. Did you devise any special process to train your faculty, the children?
Yes, my special recommendation for teachers, especially, is to train regular teachers in special education so that each and every school is able to promote inclusive education. And as far as communication is concerned, over the years we have realized that it is not a problem at all. We have to have good understanding about the subject. For example, hearing impaired. Those who are uh, totally deaf, cochlear implant in the initial stage helps. Similarly, the total communication teaching, it helps. We also believe in giving an opportunity and full participation so that self-esteem increases and people have confidence, which is inculcated through showcasing abilities. And I personally feel that uh, if you treat them as human beings, human first, and then a person with disability, then your battle is won. You can achieve your goal without any problem. Just take them as human beings and provide their facilities. Provide them all what is required in a classroom or in a place where they are working or in society. Recreation places. Or government should aim at making every public place accessible for persons with disability, and not one disability, but diverse, I would say cross disabilities. All disabilities should be catered to. And believe me, I can tell you from my experience of working for more than 40 years in this field that nothing is impossible. Difficult, but possible.
You have played multiple roles in your life as a social activist, as a teacher, as a wife, as a mother. How did you manage to do everything? And is there any particular role that is special to you in today's time?
It's again a very nice question that you have asked. Uh,
Thank you.
I would say that giving priority to different jobs and managing time is the answer. I could manage time in such a way that family support automatically came. I would give full marks to my husband, who was understanding, who was asked this question: why do you allow your wife to be away from home for so long for so many activities? So his answer was, look, she's not gambling, she's not wasting time in watching movies, she's not going for kitty parties, she's working for a social cause. And for that, if I can help her a little, I would be automatically feeling very amply rewarded. So my selfish interest is also there, that she's involving everybody in her mission. And believe me, had it not been my husband, my parents in law, my entire family and extended family, I would not have achieved what I have achieved today. And Amar Jyoti would not have been what it is today.
That's really nice. My last question to you. You aim for making an India that places the disabled and the able-bodied on an equivalent platform. How much successful have you been as of yet, according to you?
I personally feel we have achieved our goal to some extent. Uh, of course, I feel it is an iota of what needs to be done, But I again have a habit of looking at the glass half full rather than half empty. So, what change I can see during the years is attitude is not what it was a few years ago. I can also see that inclusion is being replicated. I can see that both government and civil society are now accepting persons with disability in a much better way than ever before. They are not only accepted, but specific needs are catered to. And uh, the change in the minds of people has really made a big difference. So, and provisions are there now, which they were not there earlier. uh, I also feel that the social acceptance is giving much more uh, confidence and self-esteem to persons with disability. So there is a big change in all the ministries. We can see in all the endeavors of civil society, we can see the change. And I feel happy that the mission with which we started is really being picked up by people at large.
Would you like to say anything to the disabled lot, the people in India, especially in a time like this, the pandemic? Any kind of suggestion from your side?
You will be happy to know that even in this pandemic, persons with disability have been helping others. There are so many examples of how they have worked for the suffering humanity. It's really unbelievable. So all I can say for those who are listening to me at the moment is that we need to understand the capabilities and uh, look at them as any of us, with equality and with the sense of dignity, because in today's world, as far as competence is concerned, they are second to none. In fact, they are in a few things much better than others. And I honestly want to say that uh, we should think in terms of giving them space, accept them, and let's see how big achievers they are. हमें धरती पर पांव तो रखने दीजिए, उड़ लेंगे हम भी आकाश में. तो ये जो चीज है ना, कि हमें मौका तो दीजिए, तब हम प्रूव करेंगे अपने आप को. और जहां जहां उनको मौका मिला, वहां उन्होंने प्रूव भी किया. Say for example, visually impaired, when they are studying with other non-disabled and with other disability people, I find that position holders are children with disability. So the concentration with which they work, the kind of challenges with which they work, have to be understood. And personally, I have noticed that if you have TLC, tender loving care, every individual with or without disability comes up to the best, and everyone has something good in him or her. So if that is our attitude, And if that is what we want to bring out, we will always be uh, proving ourselves as good human beings. Service to humanity is service to God.
True, true.
That is what our aim should be.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Tuli. It was amazing. It was an honor talking to you. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. God bless.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you.
Thank you.